So let's try, I'm going to show you how I make signs. Multicolor signs, what I like to do. So let's start with, I like to make a center rectangle to keep it centered on there. Let's do maybe 50 by 100. That's a good size sign. When you do the center rectangle, you do have to, in order to fill out the sketch, you have to get rid of those diagonal construction lines. So I like to fill up my edges in the sketch before I extrude. Okay, so for a typical sign I'll make, we can extrude it maybe something, let's do 3 inches, or sorry, 3 millimeters thick, 2 to 3, so I'm going to do 2. So, okay, so we have our body. So next thing we do is create a sketch on top of that body. Okay, now for a border, I'm going to use the offset tool, and I'm going to make a border. I'm going to subtract 1 millimeter to make a 1 millimeter border around the outside, and then I'm going to go to create, and click on text. You want to go ahead and draw the text frame, and then you'll have your sample text. So we'll do, say, this is a sign. We'll say, how about actually looking for a sign. This is one. So you can adjust the height. So I'll make that a little smaller. We'll do C8, and then you can put the text where you want. This is great. So we'll go ahead and hit OK. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. So we're going to select the text, and we're going to extrude. Now this is where you determine how deep you want the coloring to go in your 3D print. So I like to go, you can go, I've had, so it depends on your layer height. So if you're going to do a 0.2 millimeter layer height, 0.4 millimeters would be 2 layers of text. 1 millimeter is usually plenty. But it also depends on the colors. If your text is black on a white, if your text is black and your body's white, and it will bleed through more. So if you're worried about bleed through, that's also going to control how much, text, how thick you want that the actual letters to be, how deep you want it to be embedded in the body. So I'm going to go 1 millimeter. And so what I've done before, you can extrude it up. You can extrude it up, you can see, or but what I'm going to show you is how you can embed the text in the sign. So very important. It's going to auto want to do cut. You don't do cut. You do new body. Okay, so this is going to create very many bodies. Right now there's just one. This is going to create a whole bunch. So you hit OK. Now you have all of these bodies. So you may want to rename them. Rename your main one, main body. Okay. And then I'm also going to do the same thing for the border. So our sketch comes back. We'll go ahead and select, okay, extrude, select the border, -1, don't cut, new body, okay. All right, so we have a bunch of bodies. We have our main body, and then we have each, if you can see, each individual letter and the border is now its own body. If we hide the sketches, you can see those are, each letter is its own body as well as the border. So that's what we want. Okay, now in order to keep the slicer from getting confused, we have to use these bodies as tools to cut into the main body. So use the combine tool, go ahead and click combine, target body, select your main body, and then what we want to do is down under operation, we want cut, and then make sure you select keep tools. Okay, now you just will select all of those, basically everything else, and what this is doing is it's subtracting these letters from the original body. We hit OK. We still have everything. So, why does it do that? Okay, so now we have our main body here. Oops, our main body. And as you can see, it's flush. But if we subtract the main body, you can see we have those. But then also, if you start hiding those, you can see that we now have holes in the main body where we have hole there. It's not going to confuse the slicer. There's only one item there. So we'll go ahead. Next thing to do is to export this. Sign. You want to export it as a 3MF file. So export, and then go to your slicer. Okay. We'll go to our slicer. Where did it export? Oh no. Great. Okay. So we'll export again. Oh, okay, export it to downloads. Thought I checked there. There it is. Okay, sign. Okay. So it's going to ask you, the object is too small. That's something's wrong. Something is wrong. It should ask you, this file contains several objects positioned at multiple heights. Instead of considering them as multiple objects, should the file be loaded as a single object having multiple parts? Hit yes. Okay. Now, you're going to need at least two, filaments, two different colors. Alright, so we have white and black. Now, here's the key. Go to Objects. Okay, so you have the sign, that's our main file, then you have all these bodies. Now, here's the key. Whatever the text, you want your primary filament to be the color that you want the text to be. Okay, so we got all these bodies. 33 bodies. We want everything to be black. So that should be the primary color because that's what we want the text to be. Then you go and you switch the color of the main body. Switch that to white, Click. There you go. You have your part. It has it embedded. Let's watch what happens when we slice it. We'll go back to global settings. Okay, so it's sliced, and then as you can see, so we could move down the layers. See how our text is embedded. It's deeper than just the surface, but it doesn't go all the way through. So it goes as deep as we want it to. So there you go. That's how you do it.